Hey guys, welcome back to Envision Prototypes. I'm Nick. Today we got a lot to get done on this 51 Ford. Yeah, it's recording. Okay, good. As you can see, I have to make sure because sometimes I hit that button and I miss. We've got the rear fascia panel all done, finished, welded, seam done perfectly, quarter panel sides installed, welded, trunk lid fitted. A couple more little things to do on that. We've been really burning the midnight oil. But today we gotta get these rear quarter bottoms plugged. Fill them up, smooth it out so that we have a nice consistent shape down the side. Exhaust comes out of here, not here. So what we're gonna do, make up a little template, form up a piece of sheet metal, get it welded in place. I'm gonna start off by using some masking tape to create a thing called a flexible shape pattern. If I can get the end off. Jeez. Now this is a very tricky process because we need to take and capture the shape of this corner exactly. Okay, that's going to be good. So I'm going to do that, add some more tape. And there we go. So what I'm going to do now is kind of mark around the outside of it because we don't need all this, you know, that's just excess material. Yeah. This will stretch out to where it needs to be when we're done. Let me get a razor blade. Now we got to take our time and get this precise because you want this to represent the final piece on the car. Take a razor blade, kind of cut around the edge following the Sharpie line. Look at that. We can now very carefully peel this off the car, transfer it onto some sheet metal, and start the process of forming up this corner. Uh-oh, I tore it. I think we can save it. Haha, there we go. Ah, shit. I gotta do this all over again. Forget it. We're gonna start shaping some metal. I saw a guy do this in a YouTube video one time. He made it all nice and then transferred onto some sheet metal and it all worked out, but for some reason, maybe I should have gone crossways with the masking tape. That might have helped. Anyway, it's off, it's done. Not gonna worry about it. We're gonna get to shaping this piece to fit this corner with this stump and this hammer. The thing is, we don't cut corners around here. So we're going to take and chop more of this out so that these corners remain intact. Yeah, let's get swinging. Not bad. Check that out. It's getting close. Got a couple of ripples going on, but I think we can make this work. Let's keep swinging. A little bit closer. Let's keep going. Now, to the untrained eye, it may look like I have no clue what I'm doing. Not too bad, eh? Let's go wheel this out smooth it out, and treat it again. Now, as I was swinging this, you just probably saw some metal being bashed around. But what happened was, I'm hammering into a divot in the top of this stump, and this metal is being stretched down. The edges are actually wrinkling up. See that? All the little wrinkles? Those areas are actually shrinking into themselves. As I'm hammering it out, I'm working them into each other, shrinking the metal in those areas, and developing the shape. Now, it's not where it needs to be, of course, but we're pretty darn close. This is a family show. Let's go wheel this out and try fitting this again. We might actually make this look decent. See, it's got way too much curvature right now. It's overdeveloped. So we'll go wheel it out and maybe it'll fit. Otherwise, we'll go back to creating that flexible shape pattern, template, and try again. This video might take an hour, I don't know, let's see. Now I've set the wheel up with the highest crown anvil so that I can get into this nicely developed radius that we created on the stump over there. And the reason, there's always a reason why I didn't cut the corners, I need to be able to grip this sheet somehow. If I trim it up to the size we need and get it to fit and basically oversize it by ½ an inch, I've got nothing to grip it by, and more than likely, these thumbs will be black. Oh, they're black already. Oh well. I'm going to show you guys something very cool in a second. If you watched our other videos when we did the 40 Ford, where we basically shaped up a whole car body from nothing, from flat sheet metal, you would have seen that. But if you're new, I'll show you something really cool. If you look at this piece here, I don't know if you guys can tell, see all those little weird little lines? That's the sheet metal getting shrunk into itself. All those tucks, when I was just aimlessly hammering away on the stump, that's what was happening. And as you can see, these little things here, we can smooth that out, cut that away, cut the corners away. I was kidding earlier in case you didn't guess that. And this part here that blends into the rear fascia, we gotta do a little bit of stretching there. But not too bad, eh? I have no clue what I'm doing. Never have. Just fake it. I'm not running with very high pressure, just enough to smooth things out. All right, so my micrometer is telling me that we're getting really close. Let's go see how it looks on the car. Maybe at this point we can start cutting a little bit of material away and fitting it to the rear quarter. It's always easy to wheel up one piece. It's duplicating what we just did on the other side. That's gonna be the challenge. Okay, what's happening here? The corner has too much roundness to it. We need to flatten it out. And we do that by wheeling up these tuck marks on the ends here. See how it's all bunched up? As soon as we open that up, that'll open up, this will open up, fit the curvature here. This radius up here is a little bit tighter than the one down here. And it actually comes in, I gotta bring you guys in, because you're not gonna believe the fitment of this piece unless I actually show you. Then again, you might say, well, I edited it. I did some funny editing to get it to look like this. Well, I can waste my time doing that, or I can build a car. So we're building the car. So fitting it up back here. This is that nice reverse curve that we created earlier, a few videos ago. You see how that's flowing in. our nice seam all the way down. There's a little tack here because we had to tack the outside before going in. And as you can see, that fits into that radius. This is going to be trimmed back a bit, but that fits into that radius really, really well. And this radius isn't too bad. It's those wrinkles, those little bumps are holding us. And I think once we flatten that out, clean that up, put it in here, and scribe it to the quarter panel. Then we'll take and create another bend on this panel, slide it in there, and fit it all together. That was a close one. Well, as you can see, we've got a nice shape happening there. Looks like Elmer Fudd got hit in the head a couple times, got a couple lymphomas, but overall, it's coming in quite well. I think at this point we can start trimming it up. This bottom area needs a little bit of shape yet. It's still it shoots out too much. So that means we've got to beat this up a little more, curve it in. The top area, however, look at that. It's almost fitting the curvature that we have there. Now, there's way too much material. This will get shrunk in, sucked in, but I think we're almost where we need to be. Let's beat this up some more. I didn't hit my thumb, but we got some more curvature. And you see that wrinkle happening there? We're going to take and beat that into itself. Basically, hold the panel in the divot and bash it down. You guys can't see that, but that's what I did. And that's what I've been doing. As I'm working this, looking at you, and you're watching me, I'm just feeling what the sheet metal is doing with the hammer. And believe it or not, yeah, you can feel a lot with this, especially when you hit the other hand. But you haven't seen me jump around yet, so we're okay. This divot is about 1.5 inches deep. If you want to see how I created this stump, click that card up above there. But that divot that I created in the top of this stump is helping shape this panel. It's trapping the material. I couldn't pull this trick off on a sandbag. But as you can see, we now have the bottom tucking in further. We can go a little bit more. Yeah, let's go a little more. And then we'll smooth it out. Very nice. It's warm. Believe it or not, it's warm. Let's smooth this out and fit it again. Now, so I don't lose what we gain here, we're going to switch over to a high crown anvil, smooth that out a bit. Getting pretty dicey because of the curvature and the fingers. Just a little bit of pressure can be too much pressure. Back it off. Look how shiny that's getting. And you can see all the shrinking marks. Okay, just notice we have a bit of a flat spot there. We're gonna kind of wheel that up, smooth it out, or bring that one down. If we bring that one down, then it'll smooth out that radius. Anybody can form one piece. I can get you to form up the same thing I just did here. No big difficulty. It's making the mirror opposite to look like this. That's gonna be the trick. I'll probably do that off camera so I don't show you guys my mistakes. Aha. Let's go fit this to the car one more time, see how it looks, trim away some material, run with that. Do, 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 do. Ha ha. Little too much happening in here. We're taking wheel this up, stretch it out. Holy smokes, I just ruined all our work. Check out that tracking mark. Why did I do that? Sometimes stuff happens, guys. Fix it. You can cry over spilled beer, but don't bother crying over spilt milk. It doesn't help. Close the panel up a little bit because it has opened. And there we go. We don't need this guy anymore. Material is actually harder to cut in the area that we shrunk it, which makes sense. I'm going to clean this radius up a little bit because it's a little bit off, and then we'll use some X-ray vision to move this line out through so we can see it over here. What I'm doing here is called an on and off dolly technique. I'm placing the dolly in a particular spot and using the slapper, and I'm hitting away from the dolly. Listen to the difference. On dolly, off dolly. And the reason I'm using off dolly is I want to recreate or clean up this curvature. I'm not recreating it, I'm cleaning it up. A little bit of a flat spot there. I'm just bringing it in to alignment where it needs to be. Just like that. I want the panel to sit on its own, relaxed. I don't want to torque it up in any way. So this reflection is coming down through here, looking good. One thing I might do is take and throw this in the kick shrinker and tighten up this leg just a little bit more. It'll be cut away, but I want to take and make this corner jump out just a smidgen. So 3 kicks in the kick shrinker, and we are where we need to be. It's feeling mighty nice. Now we can go ahead and use our X-ray vision. Pay attention really close as to how we're about to do this, because it'll blow your mind to be able to see this edge over here through this panel. Use some 1/2-inch tape. You can probably guess what I'm doing. A little bit tricky there, no problem. It's nice. Now you're probably wondering, how is he able to see that cut edge behind this panel? You can't see it, it's impossible. Just wait and watch. Use a little bit of stiction to help hold the panel. It's good. Now we might have to creep up on this again. A lot of creeping going on. Now when I run my second 1/2-inch tape line on the panel, I'm following the top edge of the tape line behind. I'll have to get in your way. Except for 2 little spots there, which I can extrapolate from where we have to cut this off, I can tell exactly where we have to cut the excess material off. I'm going to use a Sharpie, run along the tape. You might say, well, the Sharpie is not accurate because it's a really fat line, right? You know, I'm all over the place too, right? Close enough. When we pull this masking tape off, we will now have a very, except for 2 spots, you can see that, we have a very crisp line as to where we need to trim the panel off. We're done with that. We have one more side to cut, this side, but I'm not going to do that to the very end. And I'm going to leave, I'm going to cut very carefully around this panel. I'd say that's not too bad. There's a little high spot here from when I cut this out earlier. Now we can take and round that off, or we can cut into this, 6 of one, 1/2 the other. I say we take and clean that up a little bit with a Dremel. Just take that point off and make it easier to finish this radius. We always want to finish a panel with a radius. You install a panel, knock the corners off, heck of a lot easier to finish than having a point on there and trying to detail that point. And the last thing we have to do, so I've just finished cleaning that up, double checking everything, making sure that we are where we need to be. I drifted up above that Sharpie edge we created earlier intentionally. I was afraid we'd be too short. I'm going to come in just above it, well, just on it, I should say, and trim that off, and it will fit exactly where it has to. You can use a scribe, something sharp to mark it. You know, whatever works for you. And that's going to be it. So last thing we have to do is determine where this line is going to be that comes down and around, and basically the panel joint, and we can get this welded in. Now we do not cut on that line. We bend on that line. We're done with all this. Here we are. So there is where we have to make our bend to create this feature that goes down and around the backside. And the other thing we got to do before we cut this off is put this in the tipping wheel, roll it over, give it a start, and then I'll tighten it up using a hammer and dolly, trim away the excess, and it should fit in the panel. So it's all been primed on the inside. We'll have to prime this part on the inside as well before it gets welded in place. Yes, yes, I hear you. I'm doing this on the wrong side for the right reason. I needed to move this line over here. Check that out. We now have where we need to bend this panel marked on this side. Pass number one. Pass number two. And as you can see, we are starting to bunch. It means we have way too much material. We'll take care of that. We'll just cut this off, roll it down. All we need to roll in is about 3/16 of an inch, maybe a quarter at the most, to go in so that that flange continues down and around the bottom. And then we'll clamp it, tack it, fit it, weld it, finish it. Take that corner off, take that corner off, and we can go fit this. Check it out. It wants to fall inside because it's just the right size. There's a web here. I'm trying to get this past the web. I need a putty knife or something. Come on. Not quite. Little love tap. And we're there. Okay, I'm gonna bring those two together. Everything else is fitting up nice. All right, so give me a minute, get this welded up, finish it off, and I'll bring you guys in once it's done. All right, guys, I got the corner welded in, smoothed out, metal finished, and because I can't get the dolly or hand or arm or anything in really from the top side, there's all that structure in there, or from the bottom side, I had to use the shrinking disc just to normalize the surface just a bit. A couple of lows, highs, kind of normalize them, smooth them out, and now we're done. So I'm gonna jump over to the other side, get the other side formed up, kind of same way as this side, bang it out, fit it up, weld it in, and I'll bring you guys in, show you everything once it's done. I think we're done. So as you can see, we have that corner welded in. There's a couple little things I need to take care of, and that'll be done with a dolly welded to an end of a bar. and we'll slide it in from the wheel well there. We'll take the wheel off, slide it in, and just address that. Not a big deal. You can still see into the car over there. We haven't finished that structural part yet, but that'll be done when we're into the metal finishing stage. A couple little things. We want to keep moving ahead and get all the panels pretty much wrapped up on the car, and then we'll go through and detail everything. Like it's so minuscule, I wouldn't really worry about it, but you know, I'm particular, so there's a spot there, has to be just brought up just a little bit. But overall, I'm happy with it. All right, guys, well, that's gonna wrap things up for today. I hope you guys had fun. I know I did. Still have all my fingers and thumbs. Didn't mash anything up too badly. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. We're getting really close with this project in terms of the final metal finishing stage, in terms of smoothing everything out, making sure that we are where all the panels will need to be before we head into body and paint. Yeah, we're gonna be painting this one. No acid thrown on it and letting it rust. I appreciate you guys watching. Catch you in the next one. Let me know, do you guys want to see the metal finishing stage? You know, it's kind of a tedious thing. I've shown it before, and after about 2 minutes, I see the viewership drop off. I don't know, it's something that some people want to see and some people don't. So let me know in the comments if you want to see it. If we have enough interest, we'll get it up there. Take care.